Hi. Right, staying with the moorland and heathland type of landscapes, I'm going to try to do something a bit different. I'm trying to do a sunset, but to do this I want to wet the paper all over. I'm not going to draw. This is based on a Bodmin photograph. I had a short holiday in Bodmin once. We went with friends, we took our trailer tents down to a camping and caravanning club site on Bodmin. Oh, beautiful, beautiful place. We went to the Padstow May Day celebration, and many thousands of you have been to that. Well, not all looking at my channel of course, but it's ram solid with people. Padstow is very busy these days at the best of times, mainly because of one of our famous seafood chefs, Rick Stein, has the seafood restaurant there and various other interests in Padstow. Although his ex-wife runs the seafood restaurant now. We've been there a couple of times and it's lovely, and it put Padstow on the map really. It was sort of an undiscovered gem of North Cornwall on the Camel estuary, which I painted, and it's all the other side of Bodmin. But we come down from London, and it's a long old drive. But we've had some wonderful times in this neck of the woods, so to speak. So we'll put in a bit of a warm sky, but not too warm. But just a bit of lemon, a bit of raw sienna and alizarin, but quite light. I don't want to overdo this. Okay, just a gentle warm up here. Now we're going with a bit of blue at the top. I'm using my original hake, a bit of alizarin with that, because a bit of depth. Oh, it's a bit darker now, I think. And coming with a bit of I need some tissue here. Oh, a bit of alizarin and a bit of lemon yellow. That's a bit green actually. It's got some Payne's grey in the lemon yellow. So I'm not going to get this a brilliant sunset, I don't think, but just paint into what you've done. And more red, I'll put a bit of light red in there. Just cleaning off a little bit. I'll just get that in there. Right, that'll do. That'll give some idea of the intensity of it. Let's try a bit more there. When the paper's nice and wet like this, you can do a lot with it. But there comes a time when the paper starts to dry, and then you have to beware. Right, I won't do any more than that. That'll be a bit too much if I do. Right, just reclip the paper. Because we're painting at quite a steep angle, well, a very steep angle, probably near 90 to 80 degrees here, I think. The gravity tends to pull the washes down. But maybe I could probably go over that once more with darker blue. I want it all merging. It's coming down gently. Right, well that'll do. I think I'll give that a bit of a dry. Take your headphones off. I'm just taking the shine off the surface. I don't want it bone dry. Okay, I'll put in a bit of background now. We'll go for the blue, for those colours. Now you do need a lump of cloth when you're doing all this. So we'll put a background across here. Right, I'll go all the way. I'm going to put trees and all sorts of stuff in this stuff. Oh. Put some fields, lots of fields. It's not all hills. They're flat land, well, undulating lands with these tours that I'm going to paint on here. Just get these different varieties of fields in here. I'm making this up, and it's not going to be accurate. A bit of burnt sienna, raw sienna in there, just to bring the changes. A bit more blue. Bluish trees in there. This hake does what the other hake that I used yesterday doesn't, but I'm going to use that for stippling. I'm quite determined about that. I'm not going to waste it. Okay, so we're just making this up, and as we come into the base of the like into this valley here, we can warm up things. And we'll just do some of this here. Darker burnt sienna, ultramarine, bit of lemon yellow. And again, as you go off into the distance, you've got more blues in the trees and the fields. Just leave little bits of sparkle here and there. And they're nice and dark. I'm going to mix a bit of grey with that. And nice bits of shadow in these trees. Just making this up, just to go along, just going off into a distance here, and then we'll put in some rich greeny trees. Warm colours. Nothing is described here, it's just indicated. So we get more variety and some larger fields here and there. Right, go back with the trees, with the woods, the wooded areas. So this is, I'm trying to do a wood here, some impression of, but I'm struggling to control the paint on the hay. It's just a little bit too much. Look, my paints are lovely and soft now. So let's just get some harder trees in here, just to give little focal points. Get lost in this. I say that every time, but you do. And just to give some detail in here, without actually drawing anything, it's so solid. Okay. A few more dark bits going off at angles. I'm just using the Payne's Grey, burnt sienna, a bit of lemon yellow, and a bit more water on the brush, I think, just bring the hairs together. There's a bit of blue because we're going off into the distance. Right, just get a little bit of hard, warm, dark on here. There's a bit of a sunset after all, so there's a lot of shadow being cast. Right, I'm going to let that go before I do too much. Now I'm going to put in a bit of a hill, and I want to be able to etch out, scrape out some really good rocks. So I start with some light colour, some light greens, mix a few colours in with this lot, get some shadow shapes, bit of sienna coming down here. The one that's quite heavy there because I'm going to etch out, so blue, all the nice dark colours. Bit of warm in there, dark now, because I'm going to put in some rocks on this before it dries. Now I want some nice, then get some yellow in there. I'll go back over that in a minute. some nice, rich, warm colours now in the foreground. Bit of red in there, plenty of sienna. We're going to have to work fast now because the paint is drying. And I can texture over this. Let's just go in with a bit more dark. Right, good card, which I had, which are Legion, all over my desk here. So we'll put in a couple of tours. We haven't done much scraping lately. So these aren't tours. That should be a tour, but it doesn't really work. But these are just big rocks. That's why I put them in dark. I've got a bit dry there, so I'm going to just re-wet that so that it will scrape out a bit. And I'll go over where it hasn't quite worked. So just re-wet. Right, before that dries, let's get that edge back in there. Okay, now here we've got some nice, they show a bit better now. And then we'll put a couple in there. They're not showing too good, are they? But if I put in some shadow on them, being cast. Now that's where we've got to get some, well, a good rock in there. So we'll just re-wet. Not a colour, and then right, just a bit of a bigger card here. Just catching the light. Okay, I just want to wet this one here again. Do this, put some dark, some bit of foliage in there. Just doing counter change that rock rather than scrape it out anymore. Just go dark over it, just to highlight it, so it should just about show. And then we want some a dark one in the middle there. So loads of colour. So if it doesn't work, go over it again. You're going to scrape it off anyway. Okay, now my hands are filthy now. In the water, clean them off. Then we'll see what we've done. I'm just going to dry my hands. Okay, so we can put in now some nice greens. Payne's grey, lemon yellow, burnt sienna. Heavy on the burnt sienna. And we'll put in a bit of texture on here. Just framing the rocks. There's just a bracken, all sorts of stuff in here. Okay, I might go over a little bit of that. I think, oh, if I go dark on the other side of that, like I have been doing, for these depths of that woody area there, it might help the rocks counter change light against dark, which we seem to have lost. You must remember this is a setting sun. Right, that needs to be a bit. I'm going to lift that out with a brush in a minute. But I want to put some trees on there now. Right, okay, so. Right, let's got a bit of more blue and stuff in there. Right, oh, I quite like that. Let's change that shape a little bit. Okay, let's get some of that in there. Right, let's get a tissue now. I will do a bit of rigger work in a minute. I've got my inch brush and a bit of tissue, and I'll see if I can lift out some of these rocks here. I might even go back over them with a tint of ochre. So let's just do that sort of thing, just to lift that colour out. Right, a bit down here. So they're just showing up now. That one, let's get that bit out of that one. Okay, I'm going to let that go. I'm reasonably pleased with that. I want to put in some dark branches on this now, twigs and stuff. But burnt sienna, it's a lovely rich dark. You can use burnt umber, you can use whatever you want. Whatever you're happy with, you don't have to do what I do. You've got to make up your own landscapes. Very dry atmosphere today. A lot of rain yesterday, but it wasn't very warm this morning. Did the usual Tuesday bike ride with the Old Men Riding Badly on Bikes Society. A lot of fun. Down our river bundle. Well, there we are. That's all right. Let's see if we can get a few little fronds. Right, I had a good suggestion yesterday about there being too many birds. I'm getting carried away. Even suggested that I don't put any in, but I can't do that. I've got to put a couple in. It's always birds, but I'll be maybe a bit more discreet with them. We'll have just quite one there and one there. Right, we'll put that in a mount and we'll have a look, see what we've done. Can't think of anything else to do with it. It's got all the elements that I like. It's got distance, trees, rocks, grass and subdued lighting because it is a early evening. Nice, I just wanted to hold that flat and we'll have a look, see what we've done. Okay, right, what do you reckon? Right, let's come down and I've largely vamped the background to try to paint something like that accurately according to a photograph is, well, some people could do it, it's not for me. I do an impression of something, all the elements are there, the fields, the distant trees, the distance, the blue distant horizon, the rocks done as simply as possible, scraping out, and a tree on one side with the tor. So there we are. So this is an impression of Bodmin Moor, a very beautiful part of the West Country. Going back there in September sometime, but mostly to the Watergate Bay area. Oh, there you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.